I rather enjoyed Destiny 2. Then again, I'm probably not your average Destiny player. I like the game for what it is and what it offered me. I understand some gamers feel jaded about the promise of Destiny, a game that never really became what it was supposed to be. What interests me most about Destiny is the story and the gameplay. The gameplay in Destiny is undeniable. The controls are tight and precise. It feels good to move across the landscape. The guns are so satisfying to use. You actually feel like a badass while you're taking out enemies. This doesn't surprise anyone. After all, Bungie created Halo. Enough said. Gamers like to complain about Destiny and the lack of story, but I actually enjoyed it. And more than the story, I enjoy and appreciate the lore of Destiny. Exotic weapons have their own history and possibly a future. Thorn is an exotic hand cannon and one of the few weapons of sorrow. A weapon of sorrow are guardian weapons that are augmented by the Hive. Most of these weapons are believed to be destroyed, only leaving two, Thorn and Necrochasm. Thorn was once called Rose, and it belonged to a noble hero guardian named Dredgen Yor. While trying to look for ways to defeat the darkness of the Hive, Dredgen Yor became seduced by the darkness, killing innocents and consuming their light. Rose becoming corrupted and turning into Thorn, ever so hungry for the light of guardians. This is just one weapon. There are countless more with stories to tell. Sure, it would be cool to actually play part in these scenarios, and who knows, maybe one day we will, if Bungie ever finds its way, or if when Bungie finally makes DLC worth buying. And there lies the problem with Destiny 2. Both for me and hardcore players, the DLC is just not worth it. As a single player, raids don't interest me. I just don't see the appeal of spending hours grinding the same level over and over again, in hope for a chance in collecting a certain weapon or a piece of armor. I guess raids are just not for me. So in a sense, I never really get to enjoy the DLC most of the time. The reason being, the end boss for the DLC of the story ends up being the boss of the raid. So you have to complete the raid to complete the story. It would be nice if Bungie could include a boss as part of the story, or maybe a boss part of a shorter strike, something for those of us who play for the story, those of us who don't want to team up with other guardians grinding away for hours. Destiny was the first of its kind. It was the first games as a service. When we first heard of the theory, it sounded promising. After you beat the game, there would be an end game. It was said that the end game is the game. Not only the reason to play it, but also the reason that will keep you coming back for months, even years. The first Destiny didn't quite deliver. They got the basics down, but what came after was nothing but fixes to the game. A few modes here and there, but what really hooked players was the exotic loot chase, the grind. You would think that Bungie would have learned from their mistakes. They didn't. Instead, they repeated them. Not only did they repeat them, Bungie also decided to make big changes to the loot chase. Instead, opting for a store where you can buy your weapons and armors instead of unlocking them. Where's the fun in that? The same factions are back and they're still useless. There really isn't a benefit in joining them. The Iron Banter is back. Again, nothing to see here. Now, when I think of endgame, I think of it as stuff that was left out of the main game. I think of it as stuff that they can sell you down the line, that you will have a chance to unlock after, either by grind or by pay, and it suffers. Developers want you to stay in their game, hoping that you will spend money while you're there. But the thing is, there's no reason for you to be in the world of Destiny, while there's no reason for me to be there. The world is empty. and stagnant. Nothing will surprise you. There's no reason to be there. There's no reason to explore because there's nothing to find. Depending on what you're expecting from Destiny will determine if you like Destiny. When I see a game like Destiny, I don't see a game that will hold my interest for years or even months. If I can get about 25 to 30 hours worth of gameplay, then I can consider the game a solid buy. If you come into Destiny thinking it would take the place of your favorite MMO, then you are sadly mistaken. Looking at Destiny as a whole, both at its past and its future, it seems like Bungie itself didn't know what Destiny was supposed to be. That's probably why they had to change courses mid-development on both titles. It's nearly impossible to deliver when you have so many development problems. That's most likely why they recycle the same enemies, the same modes, and the same locations as the first Destiny. I know I'm in the minority when I say I rather enjoyed Destiny 2. It gave me a pretty decent story, awesome if you compare it to the first game. Together with the Crucible, Destiny provided me with at least a solid 2 months worth of gaming.
Zone A lost. This is amazing! Strength in numbers, Guardian. Excellent!
Still, I can understand the frustration with Destiny 2. Destiny as a franchise didn't turn out to be what we expected it to be. Or maybe we just expected too much. Gamers expected a living, thriving world for the endgame. Instead, we received a tower full of vendors that want our money, for a chance to get an item we're interested in. Destiny can be saved, but Bungie needs to want to save the game. If the Division can be fixed to the point where the hardcore keep playing, or Rainbow Siege, born of a broken game, can have almost a rebirth, then Bungie can do the same with Destiny. Whatever they end up doing, let's hope it's enough to keep the hardcore happy, because casual Destiny players like myself have moved on, only returning ever so often to tell stories of Destiny and what it could have been.